Hey, welcome back to Working Class Customs YouTube channel. Welcome back once again to Stable B, as always, our favorite place. I do apologize for the stable is full tonight. We got a couple extra bikes with us, and if you're looking to see those bikes in the future and see what we're going to be doing to them and see some reviews that we recently filmed on them, stick around on the channel. Check out the videos as they come out. Those will be coming out for the next few weeks, the reviews, and then what we're gonna end up doing to those bikes, and we'll use them for a few different purposes. So, easiest way to stick around on the channel, click the subscribe button down below. While you're down there, throw a like on the video, and then while we're doing this Trackday organization review today, please leave me your comments throughout, any questions you might have. This is our first one of these that we're doing, so I do apologize if any of the format or anything like that is a little bit off. I'm trying to figure out how we're gonna do it, what areas we need to cover, what areas we don't need to cover, and just like I said, general format of the video. So this is the first one. Hopefully we get a good format figured out. Definitely get some good info for you guys put out there. And like I said, let me know down in the comments what you guys think, if you have any other questions about this Trackday organization or anything else like that. So without further ado, we will get into the Trackday organization review for Evolve GT Trackdays. Oh man, I can't see anything. There's a lot of blinking lights on this camera. Anyway, before we get into this review, I do have to apologize for my shirt. I am wearing a shirt from a different Trackday organization, so I apologize for that. But you know what? Every Trackday organization is worth going to. Maybe, maybe not. But we're here to kind of tell you about the one that we have enjoyed our time with. I'll start with that. And then I've ridden with twice now, that is Evolve GT. I rode with them down at Atlanta Motorsports Park, and I rode with them just very recently up at North Carolina Circuit for Automotive Research, or NC Bike as we were calling it that weekend. So I did do a track review while I was up at NC Bikes. If you haven't seen that, go check it out if you're interested in riding there. I think those track reviews offer a unique look at the track and a decent rating of both the track itself and the facilities at the track. So like to do those track reviews. We'll keep getting more of those out there as we go to different racetracks and get you guys some more reviews. But we're here today to talk about Evolve GT Trackday. Before I really get started and dive deep into it, I'm gonna put out a little bit of info, and then I'll give you some of my personal opinions. I do have to say, these are my opinions. I don't work for Evolve GT. I'm not sponsored by Evolve GT, and these are just my opinions of what I felt riding with them, and that'll go for any Trackday organization that we review from here on out. So keep that in mind as we're going through. Some people might have different experiences. You know, that's the world we live in, that's how it is, and also this is the internet, so it's full of opinions. So today, if you're listening to this video, you're watching this video while you're here for my opinion, that's what I'm gonna give you. So before we get to my opinion and the other factual information, we should probably give them a chance to give you their opinion of why you should ride with them. I had the opportunity to talk to Russ while I was there riding with him this weekend, get a good interview with him and a couple words on, you know, what makes Evolve GT maybe a little bit different, or at least why he thinks you guys should go ride with them, and he's kind of speaking for the team there. So we'll go ahead and play that interview, and then we'll get back into the rest of this review. Hey, we're here with Russ from Evolve GT. He's one of the coaches?
Coaches, yep.
Coaches, runners, admin, whatever you want to call it,
Yep.
right? Just trying to get a quick 2, maybe 3 minutes of what Evolve GT is and why someone should come ride with you guys. Not vice other track days, but specifically why we're here with you and what you guys offer that might be a little different, or at least what you think is different.
Yeah, so we're a Trackday organization. I think what makes us different than a lot of other track organizations, because I think when you look at track organizations, you see different sort of tendencies or bents. What makes us really different is that we are focused on coaching,
Okay.
and we have coaches, not control riders.
Right.
And we're also, you know, we try to run a relaxed, fun day. So we're not, you know, a lot of organizations maybe focused on racing and that sort of thing. We're focused on that coaching, learning, and just having a great day.
Sweet. So as far as like just kind of digging into how that affects like your riders meeting in the morning, maybe the rules throughout the day, just kind of the whole vibe, how did that mentality kind of shift, or at least make you guys what you are? Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I mean, one really practical example is I mentioned control riders. And
Right.
so, for example, passing coaches. We allow you to pass anybody in the session just following your group's rules. So you don't have to wait for a coach to wave you by, right? Just follow your group rules and you can pass, right? A coach is just like any other rider, just have a little bit more experience.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. So in the morning, you know, when I show up, I come over to your tech and your registration, you guys seem like you're all just kind of hanging out. You got some music playing.
Yeah.
It's one of the few that I've come to that does that. Is there a reason why we do that?
We play reggae every morning. We think it sets the vibe, and it's part of our procedure. Every Evolve track day, we try to make that experience consistent from the sign-in process, which is automated, right? No paper.
Yeah.
All the way through the tech process. and including the music, which we think helps set the mood for the day.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, so I enjoy riding with you guys a lot. This is only my second time with you guys. I've enjoyed it. That kind of, you're absolutely right about the music in the morning. That really helps you. You know, you pull up here and you don't have people yelling in your face or anything. Not that other orgs do that, but just having the music, having Russ out here, or Billy, or whoever it might be, just kind of chill. It definitely sets a good vibe. Just to get a quick reference, what all tracks do you guys run at?
Oh man, we have a great schedule. So I'm gonna miss some, but we ride at Summit, Maine, NC Bike, CMP, Atlanta Motorsports Park, Polecat Training Facility down in Tennessee, New Jersey Motorsports Park, and the list kind of goes on and on. Yeah, it's a really big schedule. So we're all up and down the East Coast. Definitely one of the largest track day organizations on the East Coast.
Yeah, okay. Do you guys have like an off season at all, or are you running all year?
We do shut down usually October. Okay. October till like really early spring. Okay. So March.
Okay, so about 3-4 months there. All right, not bad. All right, well, hey, thank you, Russ.
Yeah, thank you.
Come ride with Evolve GT. We'll get the rest of this review kind of sorted out here in a little bit with me. I'll go talk some smack on them back in the camp when they're not listening. I'm just kidding. But anyway, we appreciate you guys. Thanks for letting us ride with you.
All right, thanks for coming out and having fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
The last thing I want to do is lie to you guys. So before I tell you what I'm talking about, I hope you enjoyed that interview with Russ. Great guy, and Evolve GT is a great group. What we're gonna do now is go through some analytical stuff, just the kind of basics of what makes up this track day organization and just my thoughts and feelings on some of those things. And this is all mostly read off their website. What I meant about not lying is I have a cheat sheet. That way I don't forget anything. So if you see me looking at the cheat sheet, that's why. All right, Evolve GT, pretty basic standard track day organization. If you've done a lot of track days up to this point, you will know kind of what I'm talking about. If you haven't done a track day yet, then some of this might be new to you and I apologize. So get out and do your first track day, go enjoy it, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, that's why he's reviewing track day organizations. If you've only ever ridden with one track day organization, you might be a little confused by some things. They are definitely different. In general, a track day is the same no matter what organization you go to, but all organizations are a little different. So that's why we're doing these reviews. First thing that we're gonna talk about is pricing. I wanna get pricing out of the way. Most track day organizations across the country that I have come across have a pretty standard price at around $200. What I've seen more often than not is that is the track day org's price, but it can change based off the track. And that's exactly what I saw on Evolve GT's website, was that we had our lowest price at $1 track day. No, $175 and our highest price at $285. And it was very dependent on the track that they were at. When you get on their website, you could pay anywhere from a low, just under 200, all the way up to 285. They did have memberships available, so you could pay extra for membership, and that'd get you discounts on things like tires, leathers, the track day, free power and camping. They have different levels of membership. So I didn't read too much into that because I don't want to just sit here and read you their whole website tonight. That's not my goal, but understand that there are membership opportunities available to get you some kind of discounts and make your track day experience better by saying, yeah, hey, I'll keep riding with you. I'll come to many of your track days. So they do offer that. All right, so that's pricing kind of just out of the way. They run a pretty standard pricing point. At your more expensive racetracks, their pricing goes up. So once again, this is an Evolve GT track day organization review, but please understand that we'll be throwing some other tidbits in there in this video throughout. So one of those things is that different racetracks have different rental prices. Because of those different rental prices, the orgs can need to charge more, right? So if they always run the same amount of people, but a racetrack charges to $20,000 for a rental for the day, vice $15,000, obviously they're gonna have to charge us as the customers a little more to pay for that track. So that's usually what makes those changes in the pricing. But that is the pricing out of the way. 175 at the low, 285 at the top. Moving from there, we'll go into what format they run. Evolve GT is another pretty standard track day organization. They run a 3-group format. They're gonna call that E1, E2, and E3. And that's gonna be E1 being the lowest, your C group, your novice, your beginner, your slow, whatever you wanna call it. B group, E2, and A group is E3. So that's what they call them. So if you're signing up, don't sign up for E3 if you've never been to the track before. Definitely go for E1. But standard 3-group format, standard 20-minute sessions throughout the day. And both track days that I did with them, we had 3 in the morning and 4 after lunch. We get started at, registration will open at 7, and tech is right there with it at 7 o'clock. And then the riders meeting is at 8:15, and track goes hot at 9, track goes cold at 5. So and the break in the middle of the day is from 11 to noon. Pretty standard format. You'll see that kind of all over the US. Sometimes you'll see a little bit different. I've done open days. I've done a 9-hour, or I guess 9 to 5 is 9 hours. No, that's 8 hours. 9-hour day where we started at 8 early in the morning. We ran all the way through lunch. We had 4 20-minute sessions, but none of that here. This is Evolve GT, 3 20-minute sessions every hour. And when I was there with them both times, they start with their E3 group first, then they work their way to E2, and then they work their way to E1. So that's kind of nice. It gets the the more experienced riders in your top group, gets them out on the track first while the track's still maybe a little cold or conditions are iffy. And it gives that time to warm up before the brand new guys or the new guys, whatever, the E1 group gets out there. So that can be, that's a format that a lot of groups will run. A lot of orgs will run. I like that a lot because it gives you, as let's say you're a brand new rider first track day, it gives you that opportunity to kind of wait, let the track warm up even more, let the A group riders go out there. You can go watch them, maybe see a little bit of lines. Also those lines that they're on are gonna warm up a little more. So it just makes the track a little bit more friendly for a newer rider versus that E3 group, the fast guys. They kind of know what they're doing. They've done many track days up to this point. So they understand that track conditions change throughout the day and that in the morning, it's best to take it easy. So that is the format that they run. All right, moving on from format. The other thing I have on here is what is available with Evolve GT. So Evolve GT does have coaching available, as you heard in that interview. That coaching, I was kind of trying to figure out exactly how it works, and I couldn't get a ton of info on that for you guys, and I apologize for that. But if you have any questions, you let me know. I can email them, get those questions answered, and I can answer those down in the comments. Or you can always hit me up at JK Middle Podcast on Instagram. I'll answer any questions there also. But the coaching is available. They have what's called GT1, which I believe is when you show up, you're a brand new rider, never been in the track before, you're gonna hang out with the coach all morning. Pretty much a coach dedicated to like 1 or 2 guys, I believe. And you head out, you follow him, you learn the lines, and then you have some like kind of classroom, or at least in a tent, or sorry, under a tent, or in a trailer or something, sort of sessions to just kind of talk about things in between your riding sessions. So GT1, and then they had a U versus U, and a couple other coaching options. So their coaching kind of goes all the way through, and it is something that's available, it's not forced upon you. You can sign up for it, and you have to sign up for it on their website when you buy your tickets. So that's their coaching. Besides coaching, Evolve GT does offer race certification, which is awesome. It is sweet when a track day organization also recognizes that club racing is equally important, and they can offer the ability for you to certify that you're ready to race, and you can get your race license through Evolve GT. That's gonna be offered for specifically ASRA, WERA, and the Moto Gladiator race. I don't know the word for that. What do you guys call that? Circuits? Groups? Race orgs? I don't know. But the club racing, organizations, I guess, WERA, ASRA, and Moto Gladiators, all of those are licensable through Evolve GT. So if you're riding with Evolve GT a whole lot and you're like, yep, hey man, I'm fast, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to race, you can 100% get your race license for those groups through Evolve GT. It's also laid out on their website. The other thing I want to talk about, I've mentioned their website a lot. So website userability. This is kind of huge. Not something you would think about, but not something you would think about until you get there, right? Until you get on their website and you're like, man, I can't freaking navigate this thing. Or like, this has a whole lot of not that much info. So many track day organization websites are great. Others are not as great. Evolve GT has a pretty good website. I would give it probably like a 7 or 8 out of 10. I'm not gonna say it's perfect. There are like a couple little things that I think are missing. I was trying to find their like official rule book, and they kept saying, look at the rider's manual, and I couldn't find it anywhere on their website. I'm not a computer guy per se, so that's why I'm bringing this up, for one. For two, please realize that you might get on there and be like, hey, Easton, it's literally right here, just click it, it's an obvious spot. But I couldn't find it, I saw reference to it, couldn't find it. That is the bike or the user rider manual thing is what I think they said. So I was just looking for like their tech rules, what they're looking for, the gear requirements and different things like that. And I couldn't quite find that on there. Besides, I went to the frequently asked questions and it was like, hey, you need gear. You need boots, a suit, gloves, and a helmet. I was like, okay, well that's usually pretty standard. And I've got a few videos on the channel about what you do need, but you know, when it comes to the material of the suit, can I have a 2-piece, can I have a 1-piece? I'm sure they have the info somewhere on their website. It is not easy to find. So that's one down tick for their website. Beyond that, it was easy to navigate website. And I didn't have have too hard of a time kind of working my way around there. They have a nice schedule. They have the tracks that they run at. They have their membership, their coaching, and everything's pretty much laid out in there, nice and easy. So the website's not too hard to use, but there are a couple hiccups in there that I would say. All right, so to wrap up kind of the analytics, I'm just gonna tell you what tracks that Evolve GT runs at. And once again, I'm using my cheat sheet here. So they ride at, honestly, a great multitude of tracks. If you're on the East Coast, you're probably used to that. Most of the groups out here, most of the orgs out here run with quite a few different tracks, but I know in different parts of the country, there are some places where you're in a state and that state has one racetrack and that's the only racetrack within, 8 hours of you or 6 hours of you or whatever. And so your org out there probably only runs one track. Evolve GT is not one of those orgs. They run at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different tracks. That's gonna be NC Bike up in North Carolina, Pit Race in Pittsburgh, New Jersey Motorsports Park in New Jersey, CMP, which is Carolina Motorsports Park, Summit Point, VIR, Roebling Road, Pine View Run, Pocono, Atlanta Motorsports Park, been there, loved it, and PTC. And PTC is actually one, something training course, pilot training course, I think. I just looked into that because I was like, I don't even know what PTC is, and I don't want to come here with a bunch of non-info for you guys, but that's a new track out in Tennessee. I'm definitely gonna go check that out soon, so be on the lookout for the channel, for that. But those are the tracks they run at. So they're kind of all up and down this East Coast and a little bit inland out in the Tennessee area, and they offer all of it. Their season generally runs, as we heard in the interview, it's a pretty long season. I think it runs from like February, March to October, November. So they close down for just a couple months there when it's like real cold, and they don't venture too far down south into Florida where you can still ride in that colder weather, the season. That's gonna kind of finish us up for the analytics. Anything else? I guess on the other side of analytics, I'll just talk about like tech real quick in the morning. The tech was relatively simple. I will say I took 2 bikes with me. They didn't let me ride both bikes. That's not true. They didn't let me tech both bikes. So the rule was that when you are, let's say I pull up in my Gixxer, I go get that teched, and then I come back with my Aprilia or my Cowie or Yamaha or the other Gixxer. Anyway, whatever your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth bike is, you bring it up there. The rule is that you have to be done riding the previous bike before you can tech the second bike, right? And so that kind of makes sense. I don't blame them too much for that because you don't want to have like 3 different bikes with 3 different tech stickers, then bring your buddies in, and all of a sudden you got 2 riders out on the track that didn't pay for their day because this bike got teched and has a sticker on it. So I understand that, but just please realize if you're bringing 2 bikes, you're gonna have to kind of plan and say, like, I did a 2-day, so I just rode one for one day and one for the next day. That worked out pretty well. But if it's a single day, maybe just bring 1 bike, or make a good plan, talk to them in the morning, be like, hey, I wanna get this other one teched at lunch because I wanna ride this bike at lunch or whatever it might be. So only teching 1 bike. Beyond that, you also do have to bring your helmet to tech. So it's kind of interesting because that almost negates the problem of having a different rider on a different bike with a sticker, because you also get a sticker on your helmet. So you bring your helmet to tech, they're going to check the helmet when they're teching that, throw a sticker on there, run your bike over to tech, get it all teched up, and then you're good to go. Don't have to bring your full gear, do have to bring a helmet. You can only tech 1 bike at a time. You can only ride 1 bike at a time. You can't have 2 stickers. You get your little E2 sticker here, that's all you get. You only get 1. And then when you take that to tech, the next bike to tech, I think you have to bring that sticker with you. I don't know. Anyway, just please realize that you're not just gonna be able to stack up 4 different bikes and have them all stickered and ready to go. Okay, so now that we got the analytics kind of out of the way, it is time for the big Eastons Opinion on Evolve GT portion of this video. So I've ridden with many different Trackday orgs. I've ridden all over the country, mostly on the coasts, a little bit in between down in Arizona and inland in Alabama. Have seen many different formats. I've seen many different types of people. And I've seen many different versions of Trackday orgs and track days. In general, when you go to a track day, you're gonna have a very similar experience no matter where you go and no matter who you ride with. As far as overall construction and format and everything else, we kind of have a pretty good setup here in the US of what that can look like. As we just mentioned in the analytics portion of this video, Evolve GT is another one of those pretty standard, around $200, 3 sessions, or sorry, 3 groups, 7 sessions, 3 in the morning, 4 at night, 20 minutes, all of that. This is the part where we get to talk about, how I feel about riding with Evolve GT. I want to caveat this with generally this channel, I'm not just going to throw my opinions out there and have you trust me blindly. I strongly suggest that you go ride with different groups, figure out what group you like more or less, or if you're just a straight up track junkie, kind of like myself, you're gonna just ride with whatever's available, right? If I have this weekend off and it's Evolve GT, I'm gonna ride with them. But if it's N2, I'm gonna go ride with them. If it's Sport Bike Track Time, I'm gonna ride with them. Or there's a lot of East Coast groups right there. I apologize to my West Coast friends. But you get the gist, right? All different ways. But there are times where you can have bad experiences. There are times when you have good experiences, and I have seen that Trackday orgs that leave you with a good kind of personable experience tend to make you a little bit happier and make your whole day go a little better. When you step off on the wrong foot with a less than perfect Trackday org, your day can be a little interesting. Gladly, today I'm here to tell you Evolve GT is not one of those groups that you have to really be worried about. I would say that in general, they're super chill, nice and laid back, as kind of Russ was talking about in the interview in the beginning of this. They got reggae music playing over the tech tent. My bikes both passed tech, no problems. I think, yeah, actually there's zero problem with any of it. And I don't have the cleanest bikes, I don't have perfect bikes. I don't know if you can see that it wiggles a little bit. There weren't any questions. A lot of that is like, if you show up with a bad bike and you fail tech, well, you know, it's kind of on you. But from what I saw, everyone's generally pretty chill, pretty laid back. They're not screaming at you in the morning. No one's gonna give you this look like, dude, are you kidding me? They're there to help. The tech is important. When you get through tech, they were pretty good about just being nice and saying, hey, you know, your chain's a little too tight, or hey, you need to go tape up your wheel weights, or whatever it might be. Please do your part when you're going to the track day and actually look at the list of what's required at tech. And Evolve GT, please do your part and put the list of what's required at tech out on your website, easy to see. So that's what I'll say about that. Throughout the day, there was never really a time I ever had any instances with both days. I've ridden multiple days. Any instances with any of the staff. The staff is all super nice, super helpful. The coaches are great. You can ask them anything. The coaches are not like necessarily super available. They usually have people already assigned to them, and so there's that. But you can definitely head over to the tent anytime in the pits and ask them any questions. They'll answer whatever. And that's what I got from that feeling from Evolve GT. The riders meeting, if you've seen my video about, you know, the 5 things I hate about Trackday orgs, I really dislike long riders meetings, and Evolve GT did not have a long riders meeting. They had a nice short riders meeting. Went out there real quick, got the flags out of the way. There were also not that many flags, which is kind of nice. And then we broke into a couple small groups, talked about some great things like, hey, let's not crash today. Let's do this. Here's our passing rules. Give you a quick second to ask any questions. I also like that they break it up into groups for the end of the riders meeting, so that, you know, the E3 guys that know what they're doing out there, they've been doing a bunch of track days, they don't necessarily need to hear the E1 questions, right? So if it's your first track day, your first ever riders meeting, you're gonna have some questions. That's okay, that's great. Please go ask those questions. But if my friend Bill over here has done 94 track days, he's, you know, 52 years old, he's been racing for 10 years, he probably doesn't need to rehear the answer to the questions that you have, because he's done all this. He knows all the answers to the questions, and he just wants to go back, get his stuff on, and make it out to the track on time. That's exactly what we were able to do there with Evolve GT by having on those split up into 3 different groups. Ask your questions, get the answers, split back to the pits, and go ride. And we'll say that the overall theme of the day was, let's just go ride and have a great time. No big pushes from anyone. The other thing that I will say is that they don't force you into a group. When you sign up for your first track day, you can pick whatever group you want. You will create an account with them. So from there on out, it will keep track of that group. And then they will update that. They have a pretty sweet sign-in process. It's all just done by an app. When you show up, you're like, hey, I'm here. And they're like, sweet, app. They click on it, you're done. That is also gonna track what group you're in. So if you're riding around there in, you know, E1 group, you've been in E1 for 5-6 track days, you're starting to get a little fast, and they're like, hey, let's move you up to E2. They're gonna mark that down on their app, and that'll save for next time. So when you go to buy your next tickets, it should automatically buy in the E2 group. So that's kind of nice. I'd say the biggest negative I have with Evolve GT, you know, we gotta get to the negative parts, so there's gotta be some negatives out there, is red flags. Now, I'm not sure, I haven't fully figured out yet if this is an Evolve GT thing or if this is just the racetracks that we were at. But both times that I rode with Evolve GT, both down at Atlanta Motorsports Park and a couple weekends ago at NC Bike, there were a lot of red flags. I don't think that is due to a lot of crashes. I think it is due to every crash just about went and got picked up pretty quickly. So when you're riding around a racetrack and a bike crashes, you might notice a dust cloud. That's okay. When you come to that corner, you're gonna see a yellow flag. That's okay. The yellow flag tells you to look for things, right? To make sure there's nothing on the track in front of you, let you know, like, hey, there's something happening here. A lot of people will get caught up looking for the motorcycle that wrecked. And if it's in a high-speed corner where you're coming around, your head's supposed to be aimed to the left, but your head is definitely looking to the right because you're looking for that motorcycle that wrecked. Your bike is gonna go to the right, and you're gonna end up in a 2-bike pileup, and then maybe a 3, and a 4, and a 5. So Evolve GT is very good about clearing those lines. It can get a little annoying, and that's why I put this as a negative, because I have ridden with other groups where you don't get your bike back till lunch or the end of the day. So a control rider will come around, get your bike up and out of the race line, move it off to the side of the racetrack, and we're gonna leave it there till the end of the day because everyone else paid for their time and they got to ride. Evolve GT, for the most part, from what I saw, they're gonna go out there, red flag the session, take the crash trailer out, pick you up and your bike up, and head back in, and then restart the session. Now, if you're 15 minutes into a session, bye-bye, end of session, gone. It's a little interesting. I think it's something they could work on, something they could change up a little bit to get a little bit more track time for the people that don't wreck. That being said, I understand it from a safety aspect. I got that. So just be aware that if you put a bike down, you will probably get it back at the end of that session. Also be aware that if you're riding with them and the bikes are going down a lot, there's gonna be a lot of red flags because you're gonna wanna get those bikes out of the race line. Generally, they will wait until the end of the session and they'll just end that a little bit early and then go grab the bike real quick and hopefully start the next session relatively on time. So they're only pulling a few minutes out of that process, but it still takes time to get all the bikes off the track, go get the crash trailer out there, pick up the bike, bring it back, and then get everyone back out again. So understand, that's my only real big negative with that. Positive on it though, you get your bike back right after wrecking it. You don't have to wait till lunch to get your bike back, so you can start working on it again and get it ready to go again pretty quickly, which is nice, I guess. All right, so once again, final kind of opinions and wrapping up this video. Evolve GT is a track day organization, and that's about all they are. And my opinions of riding with them and my feelings on that have been nothing but good, nothing but positive. I got a couple little things that I think they could work on. That's okay. Not gonna give it a rating because I don't want to do that, but hopefully you've kind of gained some insight throughout these opinions. I will say that while you're out there riding, you really feel kind of, I don't want to say on your own, but it's nice. It's relaxing. It's a track day, not there to race. You're just there to do a track day, have fun. The groups are split up pretty well. The group sizes weren't too big. They weren't crazy small. The passing rules aren't egregious. And I can't say much more than just, it's a track day. Nice and simple. Pretty set in stone, standard. This is what a track day org should be. You don't have control riders out there telling you how messed up you are all day, but you also don't have people telling you, like, if you want, they're not gonna be there necessarily always dragging you on and dragging you with them. If that's what you're looking for, great. If not, then Evolve GT might not be for you. I'm not here to make that decision for you. I'm just here to give you some info and my opinions of what I saw with them. So, like I said, I've ridden with them twice. I think they're a great group. I would recommend it, but at the same time, I'd also just recommend go to a track day. And I don't think you should really worry about which track day org too much unless you find one that you're like, can't stand that, or you find one that you absolutely love, then keep riding with them. That's the info I got for you guys for Evolve GT. Please, once again, let me know down in the comments if I'm missing something you want to know. Ask the question, I'll get it answered down there, and then I'm gonna build from there on our next, track day organization reviews that we do. We can keep building, get a good format, and get the info that you guys want to see about those track day orgs. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Go ride with Evolve GT or literally any other group. Do a track day, start racing, become a MotoGP star. That's the theme of this channel. Enjoy having you guys here, watching and listening. We'll see you all next week.